In today's video, we're going to learn how to use the align and distribute functions in Illustrator. Now, technically, if we wanted to, we can sit here and move each fence piece, evenly space it with rulers, guides, and grids, but it would take quite a bit of time, and we don't want to waste time in this program. Time is money. So we're going to use align and distribute to help us do the same thing, but much faster and much more efficient. So the first thing to do for today's activity is to take your selection tool, make a marquee. Now a marquee is when I click and drag, you see that little gray dotted box that pops up? Everything that falls within that box will be selected when I let go of my mouse. Now all the fence pieces are selected. Once I have all my fence pieces selected, I'll notice that my options bar, my control panel up here has changed because now I have objects selected. I want to click the align panel. The align panel holds aligning, distributing, and distributing with specific spaces. It also has a function to align to certain components. In order to do this well, make sure that this is aligned to selection for your first step. Now that I have it aligned to selection, I'm going to click vertical align bottom. When I click this, all the pieces have dropped down so that they're aligned on the bottommost part of the fence. Now I'm going to hit undo so we can try with different functions. Undo in Illustrator is either edit, undo, or Command Z. For the second part, I'm going to select all the pieces I have again, then click the leftmost picket, right, the fence picket with the selection tool. Now when I do that, do you notice it hasn't deselected, but this picket that I clicked the second time on is now much thicker blue line, which makes it something called a key object. And a key object will help me align to a specific component. Now before it aligned to the bottom of a group of fences I selected, I had no specific key object. Now that I have a key object, this darker blue picket, every one of these pickets will align themselves to this. So I'm going to go back to my align panel. This time I need to change it to a key object. It should do it automatically, but just double check. Once I've made a key object, Illustrator recognizes that. Then I want to hit align bottom edge. Again, this time they haven't dropped down very low. They've all matched up with that first key object. I'm going to hit undo again, Command Z. Now we're going to try something with the direct selection tool as opposed to the regular selection. So I'm going to zoom in so we can see this nice and clearly. Now if I take my direct selection tool, which allows me to take pieces of an object as opposed to the entire object, I'm going to click the topmost picket that's taller than the rest, which is this one over here. And I'm going to shift click any other picket. So I'm going to hold down shift with my keyboard and hit another top anchor point. If you notice now they're both selected, but these specific nodes are selected. Then I can go back to my distributing and aligning. If you notice, it's popped up here all by itself. I don't have to click a panel. And I'm going to vertically align the tops of them now, not the bottoms, because I want the top of the pickets to align. So it's this one over here. If you're ever unsure, just hover your mouse over it. And if you notice, my picket has matched the top of my shorter picket. So it allows you to have control in that sense. We're going to hit undo one more time. Zoom back out. Now let's try selecting them all again with the regular selection tool. And now we want to distribute it horizontally. So I'm going to go to my align. This time I'm not worried about aligning objects. We're going to worry about distributing them so they're evenly spaced. So I'm going to click horizontal distribute center. And all of them will be spaced evenly. If you notice, each picket has exactly the amount of space. It's been distributed evenly. I can also now align them to the bottoms. Now all my fences are lined up. This one is a little odd, so I might have to take my direct selection tool, click on it, hold shift, click on another fence, and have the tops match. Now all my fences are nice and neat. And I can bring this panel right to the middle. Now to go on to the next part of our activity, we need to get to the next artboard. So I'm going to go to my artboard panel, double click on artboard 2 so I can access this tree. Now with the selection tool, I'm going to select the tree leaf shape. I want to align this to my artboard, which is another technique we can use with the align function. So I'm going to click align, and this time, this here, instead of aligning it to a selection or a key object, I'm going to click align to artboard. Then I'm going to hit the horizontal align button right over here. Now that will place this tree part in the exact middle of my artboard. So I don't have to do a guessing game. I don't have to set up rulers for this. Illustrator knows the exact middle and will align it to that. I'm going to click the tree trunk now, and I'm going to do the same thing. Make sure it's aligned to the artboard, click center, and now my tree is exactly centered on my artboard. You give it a try.